Today I'm reacting to Uzumaki episode 1. The full reaction is up on Patreon. As someone who loves the manga, let's see what they did with the anime. Here we go, Kurozucho. Oh my god, the animation's perfect! It looks literally just like the manga, no way. I wasn't sure just how much they'd adhere to the original art style of the manga. This is really, really good. Uzumaki. Wow, they even have like the exact angles from the manga panel adhered to. That's really, really interesting. And here is Shuichi. It's so interesting getting to experience the story again with sound effects. Oh, that bass rumble going on in the background is fantastic. This is good, we're getting the spirals introduced this early on. Ah, we're getting the eyes this early into it. Okay, very, very interesting. That's cute. This is a very interesting take that differs from the manga, that we're getting all this exposition right at the very, very opening. God, I just love this art style. They've done a really, really excellent job with the animation here. I'm curious to see how much of the manga they're going to show just in this one episode. Oh, just look at this like shallow focus happening in the background as well. This animation is stunning. We're getting the Scar storyline introduced this early as well. This is really, really interesting. Having the Scar storyline be a B-plot to the Shuichi storyline, that's really interesting. The other schoolboys being infatuated with Azumi as well, already introduced, is great. Is Shuichi? Yeah, Shuichi is good to notice. I wasn't sure if they were going to do that right away. All the fine details of the lines in her hair is just so fabulous. Yeah, it's wrapping up now. Oh, it's so gross. His custom item is here already. Okay, we're getting through this very, very fast. Love that music going on in the background. Very industrial. What way is she going to react to this? Oh, are we seeing the transformation? I'm so curious to see if this is going to differ from the manga. He's already dead. God, this has got to be such an interesting watch for people who haven't read the manga before. It's just going so quickly. Oh man, this shot is going to be gnarly. Oh, imagine finding this. Oh, the hands as well. The detail is so perfect. Arash, in the sky. What are they gonna do with this? So cool. God, this anime is really just making me appreciate how good the art is in the manga. The 3D movement of the character models is so interesting. Imagine just seeing the big face in the sky. It's so cool. I mean, not cool for them, but cool for us. So for the record, the storyline with the mother is my favorite chapter out of all of Uzumaki, so I'm looking forward to see if they're going to do that in this episode. The iconic shot. Oh, I feel so bad. Look at the outline on this character. Oh my god, this animation is so beautiful. And this music going on in the background, are you kidding me? It's just so visceral. We're not going to get the snail, are we? Oh my god, we're getting the snail this episode as well? Wow. As soon as I saw the rain, I had my suspicion, but then I was like, no, they're not going to do all this in one episode. Kinda love him for that though, not gonna lie. Me. They're gonna be mean to him. Oh, listen to that noise going on in the background. Hell yeah. He's going to explain about cutting off the fingers. Oh! Oh! Oh, when it's animated, that's so much worse. Haunted by the voices. Oh, we're going to get the real iconic shot now of Azumi. The other eye just going up as well is so good. That slow, creepy walk. Love that framing as well, the upward angle. It's crazy. Whoa, that shot is nuts with the legs. What? Are they going to even attempt to save her or just watch? Love that music. Ah, a row house. And a lighthouse. That's great, the snail shell that's in the very opening of the manga. Is that it already? Wow. That literally felt like 10 minutes, I'm not joking. Okay, so, wow, I was not expecting us to be getting through the story that quickly. There isn't a huge amount to necessarily add to the episode itself, in the sense that I think with Uzumaki and Junji Ito, with a lot of the stuff he creates, a lot of it is very self-evident. You don't necessarily need to... This type of horror, which is very much kind of Lovecraftian-esque horror with just how large and cosmic it is, it doesn't necessarily need a lot of dissection or interpretation, necessarily. It kind of just exists as plainly as the text presents it, which isn't a bad thing at all. I don't mean that in any sort of pejorative sense. I just mean that with this particular genre of horror, there isn't necessarily a lot that I can add to the discussion. Suffice it to say that I thought the production was just absolutely phenomenal for this. They adhered to the art style of the manga so well, but when you're adhering to manga art style, especially when it's in black and white, it's very interesting to see what type of approach they're going to take to the animation itself. And as you saw yourself, they used 3D animation in so many of the shots, which I was very surprised by, because when in the lead up to Uzumaki, I didn't watch any of the trailers, I didn't look at any of the reviews or that kind of thing, I just jumped right into the episode itself. So I had no idea they were going to use 3D models, so I was very impressed by that. And the music, oh my god, are you kidding me? Like all the industrial sounding sounding instrumentation used throughout, I thought was very, very impressive. So what I do just kind of want to briefly talk about in this kind of little review after the reaction itself is I was surprised with how much they brought into the very first episode. I think bringing the Scar Spiral, the Scar Spiral Obsession and Snail storylines, having three of them all at the same time, was very, very interesting. As I said in the reaction itself, I am quite curious to see what kind of reaction someone who has never read the manga and has possibly never even heard of Uzumaki, what kind of reaction they would have to this anime in and of itself. I wonder would a person going into the story for the very first time, would they find it to be a little too quick to the point where they don't care about any of the characters, or would it actually be a breath of fresh air in the sense that everything is so concise and you're just getting, you're kind of getting shock after shock after shock, that it just adds to the eeriness of the world itself. I mean, I can only kind of say for, my own experience from reading the manga itself, that I feel as though, especially with the Azumi storyline, it did feel as though they're literally just giving you the cliff notes. They're just giving you all the most pertinent information, and then bam, Spiral is in her head, and then she disappears. I would have thought maybe it would have been interesting if they had at least one or two more shots of boys being interested in her, but I think what has impressed me so much just about looking at this first episode is that, as faithful as they are to the overall tone of the original manga, they do seem to be interested in doing their own thing with this. And on the one hand, there is a cynical part of my brain, because up until I started playing this episode, I didn't actually know it was going to be 25 minutes long. I thought it was going to be 45 minutes an episode. So, Uzumaki is not the longest manga in the world, but it's not exactly the shortest either. So to cover the entire thing in just an hour and 20 minutes, I mean, I can already tell they're going to omit a lot of chapters, that goes without saying. But I didn't think it would be this quickly paced. I think how strong Uzumaki as an anime is going to be will depend on how they handle the next few episodes. Now, going into episode 2, which has been released at this point, I am aware that there is going to be a supposed decline in quality with the animation, for as far as I know. I don't know a huge amount more past that point. That's the only thing. But other than that, with regards to the actual storyline, I am very curious to see if they're going to maintain this pace, if there is going to be like a lot of omission. With regards to the second episode, which I am just about to watch, I take it that we're going to get the reveal with Shuichi's mother. I don't think this is a spoiler. You've probably watched the full anime if you're watching this review. But I mean, you can kind of infer from this episode that there is more to happen with his mother, but I won't say exactly what that is. But I'm assuming that is going to happen in this next episode, that they're not necessarily going to drag that out and kind of just pad it, because again, I'm just kind of blown away that this entire mini-series is only going to be 80 minutes. But suffice it to say, I think that this is a very strong episode 1. I loved being able to see this iconic manga brought to life in anime form. I thought the voice acting was very good, especially for the mother. Seeing the shot of the father's face up in the smoke was just absolutely terrific. But be that as it may, I think I'm going to leave this very short review for this very short episode here, and I'm going to plug right into episode 2. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this reaction. Whether or not you're a patron of mine or you're just a YouTube subscriber, either way, I want to thank you so much for taking a chance on me and checking out what it is I have to do here. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Arigatou gozaimasu. Thanks for watching.